Hello, friends. Welcome back to Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly. Hi, Cupcake is sweet. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We are here. This is Welcome Back to Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly Presents with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308, and we are here with the ASOC Prod Cat. Hi, Cat.
Hello.
It is we are sort of having a slow off day today, but we'll get into the groove. We're gonna have a short show probably. Started a little late. It's been a day. So let's start with our ad read. Today's pre-rolls brought to you by The Hidden Leaf, downtown Charlottesville, 105 West Main Street on the downtown mall, above the bricks, Suite 200. A great place to go with some great buds to get some great buds, bud? And the only thing better than their bud is their customer service. Also, they have the best prices in town, according to my own personally highly biased research. By which I mean I was personally very high when I did my biased research. Hi, Chris in the 386. Don't forget to find them on Instagram at The Hidden Leaf. You can also find our other two sponsors on Instagram, Firehouse at Firehouse, and Kush Gang Snacks at KG Snacks 434, who is also provided our breakfast with the Kush Gang today. Some gummies, a Kush juice. Yeah, so, we will probably, a note of disclaimer, we will probably be expressing some political opinions on this show, so those opinions belong to us, the expressor of the opinion, and or the channel and or the parent company, but not necessarily to any of our advertisers, including The Hidden Leaf, Kush Gang, and Firehouse. All right, now that that's out of the way, we have a short show today. Like I said, we've got 4 stories. There's a lot that went on in the news this week, but we're not necessarily going to cover a lot of it. Probably be expressing some opinions, right?
Us? Have opinions and share them? Never.
Right? Robot explores under Antarctica's ice for 8 months, finds alarming discovery.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. That's a pretty color juice. What flavor's that one?
Watermelon.
Ah. I'm relatively certain that every time I see that one, I'm going to ask because it catches my attention color-wise.
Mm-hmm.
And it does not match the color that it should be in my head.
What color should watermelon be in your head?
It should be a darker red.
Ah. See, I think they saved the darker red for cherry-flavored stuff.
Probably.
This is closer to what I think a strawberry-flavored thing should be. But not quite watermelon.
I need to remember to give them the recipe for my watermelon cobbler because they might actually enjoy making that and get a kick out of it.
That could be fun.
It is really weird how cinnamon and hot watermelon actually go together, but it's good.
Those words, hot
I know.
Watermelon.
Because it is a cobbler. You are baking.
Yeah.
You are literally baking watermelon and making a cobbler with it. And it's good. Surprisingly so.
Okay. I'd try that. There's a lake in Antarctica.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so let's. I'm. This has got my attention now. I am so curious. Melting glaciers can raise sea levels, threaten coastal cities, and disrupt weather patterns worldwide. Scientists are racing to understand what is happening beneath the thick ice sheets that cover much of the region. Exploring underneath Antarctica, a team led by Anne Wallen, a professor of oceanographic physics at the University of Gothenburg in Sweden, made a remarkable discovery. They used a small autonomous ocean robot to explore beneath East Antarctica's massive ice shelves. The robot spent 8 months drifting under the ice, collecting data with its sensors. Right, ZR? Over 2.5 years, the robot traveled more than 3,000 kilometers beneath the Denman and Shackleton ice sheets. It collected nearly 200 detailed temperature and salinity profiles. The goal was to understand how vulnerable these ice giants are to climate change. The robot surfaced briefly every 5 days to transmit its readings. When scientists analyzed the data, they found a worrying pattern. The Shackleton ice shelf seems largely protected from warm water that could melt it from below. The Denman Glacier, however, tells a different story. So they found warm water.
In the Antarctic.
I mean, yes, that's disturbing and not good.
Yeah.
But the headline made it feel like they found something way more impactful.
Velociraptors? Velociraptors, Megalodon, mutant reindeer.
Wait, they found all those things too?
No, but those were the things that went through my head when I read the article at first.
My thought was Borg.
Yes. That was also a possibility.
Oh no, they found the Borg. Or
P-800.
replicators. The little replication machines from Stargate.
Or we could just go with, your classic frozen wasteland horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see a robot finding that up there.
Yeah. So that's okay. This is interesting to me.
Yeah.
New ocean is forming in Africa. A 35-mile crack opened up in Ethiopia in 2005. Wait, what? The African continent is breaking
but
apart?
do I believe this?
No way, this can't be real. Or is it? So we went down a rabbit hole. What is happening?
I think...
Never mind.
I think we would need to see it reported on ground news first because,
or NPR
or something.
Some
both,
reputable source.
Both Florida and California have been threatening to fall off into the ocean for 100 years, so.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, for longer. We've just been worried about it for 100 years.
fair. I would imagine that whatever's happening over there, if it's happening, has been going on longer than now too. So
Right.
so yes, it is worrying that there's warm water where there should not be warm water, but it is warm water and not the Borg, not Megalodon, not raptors, not
Right.
replicants, or any of the other 1001 things that a video game player or moviegoer instantly imagines when you hear Antarctic and something bad.
Right.
And yeah, the fact that there's a lake.
Lake Vostok. Yeah, no, that's a little worrying. That has the flavor of uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, on to our next story.
Yeah.
Betty Boop and Blondie enter the public domain in 2026, accompanied by a trio of detectives.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Betty Boop looks a little relaxed there.
I mean, she's now in the public domain. She doesn't have to be so rigid.
Right? From the Los Angeles Associated Press. Betty Boop and Blondie are joining Mickey Mouse and Winnie the Pooh in the public domain. The first appearances of the classic cartoon and comic characters are among the pieces of intellectual property whose 95-year U.S. copyright maximum has been reached, putting them in the public domain on January 1st. That means creators can use and repurpose them without permission or payment. You know what that means?
Yeah.
Blondie horror movies from Lionsgate.
Yep.
The 2026 batch of newly public artistic creations doesn't quite have the sparkle of the recent first entries into the public domain of Mickey or Winnie, but ever since 2019, the end of a 20-year IP drought brought on by congressional copyright extensions, every annual crop has been a bounty for advocates of more work belonging to the public. It's a big year, said Jennifer Jenkins, law professor and director of Duke's Center for the Study of Public Domain, for whom New Year's Day is celebrated as Public Domain Day. It's just the sheer familiarity of all this culture. Jenkins said that collectively this year's work shows the fragility that was between the two wars and the depths of the Great Depression. Here's a closer look at what will enter public domain on Thursday based on the research of Jenkins and her center. Betty Boop began.
All right, before you scroll all the way down and read, what detectives are you guessing? Because they mentioned 3.
I don't know. Sam Spade? I'm guessing Sam Spade is one of them. Otherwise, I don't know. Tintin?
Ooh, that would be a good one. Although, I think he's just a little bit... He might be just new enough to not be going in yet.
Okay.
Might be like the next 5 years, but not yet. Alright, go for it.
Okay, Betty Boop. There's a lot of information about Betty Boop. Blondie.
The Dagwood sandwich.
Right? Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Which means that it's about time for the What's their names?
Yep,
The something brothers.
the Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys. I
Because
was
they're
right about
not too
Sam
far
Spade.
behind. Yep, you got Sam Spade.
As I Lay Dying. Ooh. And Miss Marple.
Yep.
Miss Marple is now public domain. That means we could see a Sam Spade and Miss Marple crossover.
You could.
That would be a
We
fun
could-
one.
I am kind of lobbying for, the next Knives Out movie to be a back in time one with Sam Spade and Miss Marple.
Oh, that would be awesome. Dick and Jane. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
See Dick run. Run, Dick, run.
Mm-hmm.
Coconuts and animal crackers. Oh, animal crackers. Woohoo. I might just have to do a whole mix of that.
Yeah.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I Got Rhythm. Oh, Georgia on My Mind. Dream a Little Dream of Me. Nobody Knows the Trouble I've Seen. These
Please
could
note,
be
this is the original one, not the one sung in Spaceballs.
right. But those could be fun. Those could be some fun covers to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's one of those things in the next few years. I'm going to start. I kind of want to go back and find some covers, find some things that are good covers for me to do, cover songs. Yeah. I've been careful about what covers I've chosen to do and release because of public domain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to go doing more. I'd like to have more.
Well,
But there you
from
go.
2019 on up, there's a list of stuff that has entered recently that you could do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ever since the they reached that 95-year limit. God, I was so pissed when Congress did that.
Yeah.
So upsetting.
But, and 95 years is long enough for anybody.
Yeah, it really is. All right. On to our next story.
Yes, such as it is.
NPR. The devil's in the detailing at haunted Halloween car washes.
Oh, this is not a news story. This is one we missed from back in October.
Okay. Because there's going to be this feels bizarre.
Yeah, no. But the idea of, instead of walking through a haunted house and experiencing each room on your own, you're going to drive through a haunted car wash with
No.
actors.
See, that guy right there is a no. I would run that dude over. Put me in a
That's probably
car
why
and show
he's
me a
on-
murder clown. I will hit it with my car. It's just a reflex action. I can't help it. Nah.
Which is probably why in, what was it? 2008, 2009? The horde of clowns that were just wandering all over Virginia.
Oh, God. No.
Why they
No.
stayed in areas where cars could not reach them.
Right? Because it's a reflex action. Ah! Can't help it. I just can't help it. Like,
there's a lot of people that can't.
yeah. Well, for good reason. Because clowns are scary, yo.
Yes, we can thank Mr. Was it Gacy?
Yeah.
Specifically?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Clowns were creepy before Gacy, but yeah.
Yeah. There's something with the collective memory there of, oh yeah. Weird nose, big shoes, funny fake hair, and makeup. And you're not looking pretty. You're doing this to look as creepy as possible, but in a fun
Yeah.
supposed way. Okay, that's a no.
I mean, the first clown was Punchinella.
Yeah.
And Punchinella looked creepy.
See, when I hear that, I think of the Punch and Judy shows, in which
Yes.
case looking creepy was
That's
okay
Punchinella.
because the goal was that Judy was going to punch.
Yeah. Punchinella is the original Italian name for Punch and Judy, for Punch of Punch and Judy. Punchinella, I don't think there was originally a Judy.
Probably.
I think originally. Have you ever played Gamma Gurton's Needle? Well, Ducky, I've played Gamma Gurton, but the needle came from props. Yeah, originally I think Punchinella was a servant and had a master who he would trick into doing stuff and getting hurt and doing slapstick bits. He wasn't he's always been a little something. And I mean, jesters have always had a little bit of an outcast.
Vicious streak?
Well, yeah, vicious and outcast nature to them. They've always been put apart from the general populace, which is what did make them able to speak truth to power, as it were, and not face the same kind of consequences that other people would. Because they weren't part of society. They weren't really bound by the same set of rules.
Anyway, looking for stories that popped up on NPR for whatever reason. It's like, I'm including this because it has caught my attention. And I'm in full squirrel mode.
Full squirrel. Who's squirrel?
Yeah.
The clowns come at you quickly at Fast Flash Car Wash in Detroit, Michigan. They tap on the windows of waiting vehicles, jiggle locked doors, and cackle at the dozens of automobiles in line for scares, served with suds, sprayers, and sponges. Chamois meat chainsaw. If as a child you cowered in the back seat during trips through the local car wash, terrified of giant rotating brushes and miter curtains slapping against the family car, a haunted car wash will trigger those ancient memories. Take the roaring machinery and darkness, add a strobe light and a guy in a hockey mask, and you've got Primal Fear packaged perfect for vehicular adults with a taste for Halloween thrills. That sounds like an ad read. That doesn't sound like the opening to an article. Dude.
I didn't write it. Blame the person that wrote it.
Whoever wrote it did great.
think whoever wrote it also thought that a drive-through haunted house was an awesome idea.
I think so. This is going to be the biggest year we have for this, says Joel Fulmer, retail marketing manager at Tommy's Express, a car wash chain based in Holland, Michigan, with 260 locations across the country. Nearly half of them, from Alaska to Wyoming, will be running a Halloween-themed trademark tunnel of terror. The trend has grown across the country for years at independent and chain car washes. A grinning skeleton in a trucker hat might clean your car at the Wiggy Wash in Orem, Utah, or a team of demonic clowns might do the job at the Wata Wash Car Wash in Greer, South Carolina. The origins of the haunted car wash trend are murky. The phenomenon is especially widespread in car-obsessed Southern California. But Fulmer says he first heard about haunted car washes in Virginia and Florida. Dude, why you gotta put us right next to Florida like that? Like, this is either a Virginia idea or a Florida idea. The Virginia version is probably a lot more chill than the Florida version. Nah, we don't need to watch that.
No, we don't.
No.
We do not. We have talked about it briefly. That settles the squirrel part. I'm good.
Okay. So, yeah, big news. Zoran Mamdani.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
As you go through the weird filter things.
It's trying to... It wants me to
Yeah,
sign into Google. Oh. No, it's paywalling me. Hold on, let me do something. It's not paywalling me, it's just...
Being stubborn.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Well, we do know that Zoran Mamdani was sworn in as the mayor.
Mm-hmm. In a subway station.
Well, aren't you just gonna keep doing this to me? Heck you. Yeah, in a subway station. Yeah. Well, okay, so we've said a bunch of stuff about. We've talked a decent amount about Zoran Mamdani. I feel like, you know, we know that he can't run for much more than mayor. Like, he can't. This is not the beginning of some long political career or something.
I mean, he could have a long political career, but the highest that he's going to get is the Senate.
Right.
He could be a governor. He could be a senator. He could be a congressperson. Those are all very possible for him.
But he can't run for president.
No.
So we know that there's a limit to the amount of gain that he can make doing this.
True.
What we don't know is what he's really looking to get. Like, we don't know what the actual what am I looking to say here?
What his end goals are,
Yeah.
career-wise?
What his career end goals are, what his... Also, we don't know exactly what his political orientation really is. Like, he's progressive. He speaks on affordability. He doesn't seem to want to really he doesn't seem to want to put limits on social freedoms. You know, he's not trying to. He doesn't seem like he's trying to keep us from being trans or queer, or he seems to be aiming for equality. He's also a politician.
True.
Like, that has been his natural tendency or natural inclination towards politicking. And that was on display when he met with Trump.
Oh, yeah.
That was definitely something that, you know, it was obvious when he met with Trump, because, like, he charmed the bejesus out of Trump, to the point where Trump was like, yeah, go ahead, call me a fascist. It's okay. They all know. I know. We all know. You know, call me a dictator. It's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to put you in the position where you've got to be polite about it. You know, it's like, wow, this is a worrying level of charming.
It is.
I might just be being pessimistic here, but, like, I don't know. I don't feel like I don't trust someone. I no longer trust somebody who is that charming.
I mean, that's how we ended up with Kennedy in the White House.
Right? That's how we ended up with Reagan in the White House, and Bush, honestly, Bush Jr., W. I mean, it was different kinds of charm, but it was still...
It was there.
Yeah.
I would say, from his track record so far, he does very much seem to be on the side of wanting the best for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
He seems to be further on the side of that, and definitely seems to be further on the side of we're going to do stuff ethically, and we're going to do stuff without fraud.
Yeah. Which is all great. I love that. That's a good look. A lot of people start there.
They do. So far, though, he's been able to maintain that. So that's a nice check mark in his corner.
That is true.
I know he was. What was it? Bernie Sanders was there for the swearing in.
Yeah.
They had a very nice touch with the fact that he actually paid for the filing in front of everybody. Because instead of just, writing it off, oh, you're the mayor, we don't need to pay. He pulled cash out of his pocket and handed it to the clerk that was there to file.
Paid in cash.
His in cash.
Paid in cash. I'm not. Yeah, I like that. I think I like that.
that's, I mean, on the one hand, that shows his ability to read the crowd around him and how they would appreciate that and those watching.
Yeah.
But even if you take that part out of it, at its very base, he did actually pull money out of his pocket and hand it to the person to pay the filing fee.
Yeah.
I do not remember hearing that about Giuliani.
No, I doubt Giuliani did that. Yeah,
Now,
I doubt Giuliani paid the filing fee.
and there's been a lot made over what he swore his oath to be mayor on, which there was this really awesome little news snippet that got aired, and I don't have it because I was not home when I saw it. I was at my afternoon job, so it was on Fox. And they went over all the various things that people have sworn on over the years.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious.
Okay.
Because the person trying to make the point, oh, he's swearing on the Quran, that is so terrible. And they're like, it's no worse than, this or that. The one that swore in on the dictionary, the one that swore in on the Constitution, the one that swore in on a Spider-Man comic.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Dictionary, Constitution, those both make sense. Spider-Man comic. I get a Spider-Man comic, though. I get it. Because with great power comes great responsibility.
True.
And I see where that could translate over to that.
Yep. Copy of two different books. One by, I want to say, Malcolm X, and the other one by Martin Luther King Jr.
Okay.
Their favorite family cookbook.
Okay. All right. I like that.
And then they start branching out to other places for different people that are swearing oaths, and just the things like, and there's nothing actually saying that you have to have a book to swear on, because there were several that just said their oath and had no book present, period. So
yeah. It's a tradition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a tradition. It's not
it's not a requirement.
No. And it wouldn't have been a requirement originally to swear in on a Bible if swearing in on something had been a requirement, because at the time the founding fathers were being very careful to keep religion out of politics.
Probably would have had to swear in on either a bound copy of the Constitution or the dictionary.
I'm going with the Constitution, but I like the dictionary too.
I'm just waiting for a D&D player, a solid D&D player, to get elected so they can swear in on a copy of the
Dungeon
rulebook.
Master's Guide?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or well, it'd have to be the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook together.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. That would be, yeah. No, it would be the Dungeon Master's Guide. Because in that case, they are the DM and the rest of us are the players, sort of.
Well, that's why you include it, so they can see that it does exist. Here's the rulebook you can actually read. We know you're not going to read it, but it's there.
It's there. You're as likely to read this all the way through as 75% of the D&D players you will ever encounter.
Exactly.
I have never read a player's handbook all the way through. Not even my first one when I wanted to learn the game and get all into it. There was some parts of it that was just like, okay, no.
I will read, and then I will encounter math, and I will skip until the math stops.
I get that. I get that. I like the math. I like the math. I'm into the mathing.
I know.
But that's also only a recent development. That only happened in the past, 2 decades or so.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. Okay, so I do want to ask, what do you think has gone on this week that's gonna make it into the game tomorrow?
I think the thing with Mom Donnie will make it in. I think something of the Christmas rant will probably make it in.
Okay.
Since we had a clip show last week.
Yeah.
I think the Christmas rant will make it in. The supposed bombing and snatching of the president of Venezuela, that happened like last night, this morning, so that probably won't.
But the buildup of military might around Venezuela will.
Yeah. That probably will.
Yeah.
Let's see. If anything else, they may touch on various new state laws that went into effect on the 1st.
That's my guess. That's my big guess.
In which case they may touch on the one that Virginia has, which is, they've got the new texting law that has come up, so that if you are getting messages through texts from companies, you can just tell them stop or unsubscribe, and they have to. And if they keep responding afterwards, they get in trouble.
Right. I think this is going to be as effective as the anti-robocalling laws.
Yeah. Which, obviously, to my aggravation, worked so well.
Yeah. I still get robocalls, I'm pretty sure. I generally don't answer the phone if I don't recognize a number. Like, if it doesn't... Yeah, no. It's not getting answered. If it's important, they'll leave a message. Let's see. What other...
Otherwise, the dog that was rescued from the icy lake, that might make the thing.
That might make it, yeah.
Can you think of anything?
Iran, the unrest in Iran.
Yeah.
That is because their economy is collapsing, but also they are okay. Our sanctions and stuff have weakened their economy. Their leaders are cracking down on the unrest, on the what are those things called when people get together and protest something? It's called a protest. Because the leaders are cracking down on the protests. That's creating more pressure. And then Trump and Netanyahu come on talking about we're gonna attack if something doesn't change or whatever. And so
Mhm.
all of this is putting a lot of pressure on Iran, both internal and external pressures, as these protests build momentum, as they're being put down as well. Like, the more they're being pushed back against, the more power they're gaining.
It's going to turn into a situation like we saw happen in over the late summer, early fall, where you had all of the Gen Z people rallying behind the One Piece flag and taking back their governments.
We might see another One Piece, another One Piece style upheaval.
So now that might be something that makes it as
One Piece.
One Piece might make it because they have declared the end to the first season
Of One Piece, or of the One Piece Revolution?
The first season of One Piece, which has like they're calling the first season the last 24 years of anime, because it was a weekly anime and they didn't have any breaks.
So they're finally taking a break. One Piece is finally taking a season break.
One Piece is finally taking a season break, and season 2 is going to come back with like 20-something episodes. So their first season has like 1,500 episodes or something. I forget what the number is. I saw the number several times. I have forgotten it. But it is an absurd number to hear for season 1, and then you hear season 2 is going to have 24 episodes, or however.
You could see why why I was incredulous that it was only season 1.
Yes.
It's like, no, this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah. It has been, but because it was a weekly thing and it was done weekly without breaks, they are counting that as one season. And then they were when they come back in March. When they come back in March, it's going to be on a more seasonal format.
Cheese and crackers, that's
so that might make it.
That's a whole thing.
Yes, that is. Let's see. Mom Donnie repealing the executive orders regarding Israel. That probably will not make tomorrow's show. It might make next week's show.
Okay.
The Spanberger and the UVA president-elect, that might make tomorrow.
Okay.
Because the Board of Visitors picked someone over staff protests, over student protests, over the governor's request. They've picked someone. And looking at the year ahead, there are at least 20 people that she needs to appoint to those seats.
Jeez.
And she also has the ability to fire the ones that Youngkin appointed because they were not fulfilling the seats correctly. Because again, they do not have anybody meeting the residence or the alumni status.
Wow. UVA is in a messed up position at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Dude.
So that
might, but I think that's a little local to make.
It is local. It is local, but it's also, something that has been making bigger waves and getting noted on broader news services.
Yeah. We'll see. Wow, what the absolute... What? Hey,
Which one?
Hey, Maddie. Good to see you. I love that that's what you enter with. From last night. Sorry, just... The news. The
It's
UVA
all
news?
that.
Huh? Or just all the news?
I'm saying that all the news is just WTF.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it really is. It really is. I do want to go back and talk a little about the Venezuela situation.
Yeah.
Like, we just kind of breezed through that.
Oh, when we're done with that, I've got a local thing to mention. So
Okay.
Venezuela first, and then the local thing.
Okay.
Actual local thing.
So, yeah, okay. So, first there was the dock attack, which I think will make it onto the show.
Probably.
Because that was unsettling. That was a ground attack on a foreign nation that we have not
Openly declared war on?
Right. That Congress has not openly declared war on. But it gets weirder because then we attacked, what city was it? I keep wanting to say Caracas, but I don't think that's Venezuela. But we attacked the capital city. It is Caracas. Trump is the worstest, yes. Caracas, okay. So then we attack Caracas, which is not... It's a capital city. And
It's not a boat that is supposedly heading for our waters.
All the boats were actually in international waters, too. Like, that was the thing.
I know, but there has been no leg to stand on with any of this malarkey.
None. He was so petty, he bombed Hugo Chavez's mausoleum. Oh my god. It's awful.
Yeah.
I dropped Long Island there for a second. My god. Remember when these same dudes who were all, we can't tear down Confederate statues? Right?
Yeah.
Right. So, but now we have, whether Maduro is the legitimate leader of Venezuela or not, because that last election was not free and fair, he is the accepted leader of Venezuela. And we go in and we kidnap him and his wife. At best, Venezuela is currently asking for proof of life. And we haven't, as far as, at time of reporting, we have not given them proof of life. We just say, oh, we have them. We don't know where, just we have them. You got Firehouse for lunch today?
Nice.
I don't think it's the same Firehouse that sponsors us.
Spelled differently. Probably Firehouse subs.
Does occasionally have edibles. Does have edibles. Not nearly as many as Kush Gang, but they do have edibles. Yeah. It's spelled with a Z. Or in Britain, a Z. Firehouse.
Yep.
They are a local Canada distribution. I don't know how to put it.
Firehouse subs are good, Chris.
Yeah. 7-stream watch streak. Woohoo! Thank you, Maddie. Yeah. I had them in DC. They were all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a sub person. It never quite. It's the bread. Sub rolls are always too much bread.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like it's too much bread to not enough filling ratio, because you can change that. But it's like it's too big to comfortably eat. And some bites are just completely bread, no filling, no matter how you do it. So I find subs to be an unsatisfying sandwich. Jersey Mike's. I think I've had Jersey Mike's. I'm not a sub. I just pretend to be one really well. I'm definitely not a dom, but I'm not really a sub. More of a hoagie. Matzo bread sandwich. There's a lot of jokes in there that I'm just not going for. So we say, wow. I was gonna go straight from a really bad to right back into Venezuela. Okay. So back to the Venezuela thing, though. We have... Oh, now back to regular program. Doesn't it come with a kosher pig?
Does it?
I don't know that I'd call the pickle kosher, but you certainly get a pickle with every order. Oh, God, I am so sorry. That kind of behavior is supposed to be left over on the DJ channel or when Lockpick is in the chat.
Ooh. I need to find this because this is something for us to read. Hang on.
Okay.
Well, you keep talking while I go.
So, again, this Venezuela situation, what we have done is, I mean, we have committed an extrajudicial, outside of the normal bounds of war, outside of the defined rules of conflict, not just a little outside, but very outside. We've essentially invaded. We have a foreign country that we have not declared war on and committed a coup d'etat. This is war crime. I cannot, there is no other way to, okay, no, because we're not at war, so it can't be a war crime. It is an international crime. Like, this is not and cannot be legal in any way. I'm really curious to see how the rest of the world is going to respond to this.
I I chucked Senator Warner's response to this up in the chat for you.
I imagine his reaction is somewhat similar to mine.
Oh, yeah.
Senate Intelligence Vice Chairman Warner responds to military action in Venezuela. Washington, U.S. Senator Mark R. Warner, Democrat, Virginia, Vice Chairman of Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, issued the following statement. Our Constitution places the gravest decisions about the use of military force in the hands of Congress for a reason. Using military force to enact regime change demands the closest scrutiny precisely because the consequences do not end with the initial strike. If the United States asserts the right to use military force to invade and capture foreign leaders it accuses of criminal conduct, what prevents China from claiming the same authority over Taiwan's leadership? What stops Vladimir Putin from asserting similar justification to abduct Ukraine's president? Once this line is crossed, the rules that restrain global chaos begin to collapse, and authoritarian regimes will be the first to exploit it. None of this absolves Maduro. He is a corrupt authoritarian who has repressed his people, stolen elections, imprisoned political opponents, and presided over a humanitarian catastrophe that has forced millions of Venezuelans to flee. The Venezuelan people deserve democratic leadership, and the United States and the international community should have done far more years ago to press for a peaceful transition after Maduro lost a vote of his own citizens. But recognizing Maduro's crimes does not give any president the authority to ignore the Constitution. The hypocrisy underlying this decision is especially glaring. The same president recently pardoned his former Honduran president Juan Orlando Hernandez, who was convicted in a U.S. court on serious drug trafficking charges, including conspiring with narcotics traffickers while in office. Yet now the administration claims that similar allegations justify the use of military force against another sovereign nation. You cannot credibly argue that drug trafficking charges demand invasion in one case while issuing a pardon in another. America's strength comes from our commitment to the rule of law, democratic norms, and constitutional restraint. When we abandon those principles, even in the name of confronting bad actors, we weaken our credibility, endangering global stability, and invite abuse of power that will long outlast any single presidency. Yeah. Right. That I agree with Mark Warner. I do feel like there are I feel like he is being restrained here. His denunciation of the behavior shows restraint. And not
He's
necessarily... Huh?
He's supposed to be on the Senate Intelligence Committee.
Yeah.
Which means that they are the ones that are supposed to be... They're part of the people that are supposed to be told about stuff like this. Which means he's probably... When things went down and they were not told, he was probably sitting in his office screaming at the top of his lungs. Many four-letter...
I bet he threw stuff.
Oh, I bet so too.
He got angry enough to throw stuff at the walls.
And got it out of his system enough to write something yelling at both of them.
Right. 60% of that is justifying Trump. Don't defend either of them. Exactly. This is...
I think if you read the whole thing, it doesn't defend either of them. I think that
No.
if you are certain people who like to cherry pick sentences only,
Yeah. There are
they
people
will
who are
go
going
straight
to...
for
Right.
they'll go straight for that first line about Maduro not being excused and use that for the whole thing.
Or they'll skip the absolving Maduro and just, use this.
Yeah.
Use almost the rest of it. They'll skip the first line and the last line and just use that middle bit. And they'll also...
No, it didn't.
Huh? Yeah, no, this was calling out Trump on
Oh, that's the wrong one. Earth when I don't ignore that. No, I did not click that. Bloody thing.
I think especially this the second paragraph about if the United States asserts a right to use military force to evade capture foreign leaders. It accuses of criminal conduct. What prevents China from claiming the same authority over Taiwan? Showing that this fallout and that... Oh, yeah. I would not have... I would not have... I wouldn't have concentrated on the negatives
Things
of
he's done
Maduro so much if I'd have given the same speech. Like, yeah, we all know Maduro's a bad person. I didn't like him. Nobody liked him. Yeah. There was too much weird justification. Yeah. But that's still not, like... Also, didn't like Hernandez.
Nope.
I see the hypocrisy there. That hypocrisy is undermining. The whole thing is terrible. I think that the correct way to get Maduro out of power would have been sanctions. I mean, Venezuela's economy has been shaky ever since the use of fossil fuel has started dropping. Soft power. There were soft power ways of doing this. This was wrong. Not only was it wrong, the part that I most agree with, the part that I see as really, really, really awful and wrong, the thing that is going to be real dangerous, is the precedent that this sets. And the thing is, even with security, heads of state are still pretty vulnerable.
As we just saw.
Yeah. And, this is just the head of state. This can be, if you go for the top, then you have no problem going for anybody below them. Right?
Like they have been doing.
Right. And at some point, there just isn't enough security for everyone. This destabilizes all international politics. This illegal military action has the power to destabilize everything. It was an action similar to this that started World War I. When that turkey Archduke got hungry and shot some guy.
Yeah. Yeah. This is how we relive what happened in 1941.
Exactly. We are headed, this action I know that Trump sees this as like getting Osama bin Laden or getting what was his name? The Iraqi president dictator who invaded Kuwait. Wow, I can't believe his name has completely disappeared from my mind. I have pictures of him in my head, but I just can't get to the name. But in Trump's head, that's what this is. This is getting one of those guys. This was something like that. That at the time, when we look at it, it is a little hinky. It's a little like, really, we did go out onto foreign soil and actively hunt down these people, they were deemed international criminals, but it's still a little U.S. military action on foreign land. I mean, we were technically designated. They were technically in designated countries that we were at war with because of our war on terror. But the whole thing was on shaky legal ground.
But at least there was some ground there.
Right.
Versus this, which is free falling into chaos.
And right now, I bet you everybody at The Hague who decided not to call what the U.S. had done war crimes back then is going, oh, crap. By not holding W responsible for war crimes. Now
they're going to have to look around and figure out how to hold Trump to it. Because if they don't...
Exactly. If they don't, everything is... Geez, why are we all in this huge handbasket? Where are we going?
Down.
Right. Why is this handbasket dropping very quickly?
We are going down at terminal velocity. That is what we are doing in a
What-
handbasket.
Right. What is wrong with our country?
Everything right now.
I have a theory. Stick with me. Stick with me. My theory is that this is halfway between a Back to the Future 2 scenario mixed with a Jacob's Ladder scenario. We're not all quite... Oh, spoilers for Jacob's Ladder. A very old film that we should have all seen. We're not all necessarily dead yet. It's not that we're dead and we're having this one moment in that moment before death where we're living out an entire lifetime in that DMT trip. But it's more like we've collectively done DMT and gone back in time. Or somebody went back in time and spiked us all with DMT. I mean, that's the point of Jacob's Ladder. Yeah. It's a DMT trip. The whole thing is a DMT trip. It's sort of like alternate timeline / bad DMT trip. Right. Yes, that is exactly. This has all been so awful that I have to imagine that it is a DMT trip. There's no way I can believe that this is the prime timeline. Exactly. Oh, God, yeah. Yep. That is exactly what has happened. I can't process any of this without looking at it through some sort of movie reference. I'm struggling to find the narrative. I know that as humans, we look for narratives. But... And I know that narratives don't always exist. We can't always... But I'm struggling... The narrative is line and ego go up.
Yeah, I think honestly that's probably it.
Yeah. I just can't... I can't justify this narrative, this line and ego go up narrative, with the arc of history may be long, but it tends towards justice. Like, I found out our last night about 330 in another stream.
Yeah.
What's 330? Oh, at about 3:30 a.m. Found out about the Venezuela thing. I think I heard about it last night. I couldn't imagine waking up to this. Yeah.
There were definite 4-letter words said in the car on the way to work this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe I had heard about it last night on my drive home from Frosty Fridays. It was the BBC had the BBC it had like just happened, and the BBC was covering it, I think. It was like 10 o'clock at night. BBC first, yeah. Like 5 minutes in, yep. It happened pretty early in early. It happened late in the evening, still early at night. So yeah, it's gonna change the global dynamic in a lot of ways. I don't know how yet.
Can you see any way in which it would change it for good?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, yes. However, nobody knows how. The ways in which it will change it for good are good, which it could work, are going to rely on The Hague acting swiftly, decisively, and with strength.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be really bad, because that's going to involve sanctioning Trump at the very least. But the way it could be good is that if the response is strong enough, if enough people come together and go, no, bad US, that would be the sound of smacking the US on the nose with a newspaper.
Yep.
I was looking around for something to do that with, but then good, because it shows other countries don't do that crap. We will stand up to even the strongest of you. It's no longer enough to South American countries are going to form a kind of NATO UN type political organization. It's no longer enough to be singular countries. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. And I think that may have positive outcomes, may have negative outcomes. I think if South and Central American countries come together in some sort of consortium, it will give those countries in South and Central America that are not human rights disasters and social, that are decent, it'll give them a chance to show the other countries that that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to enter more UN-type alliances and connections in global regions. Yeah. The worry is that when we do that, it will lead us to the... this is how I was supposed to remember what countries were together in the lead-up to World War One. Then it was like that, then it was like that, then it was like that, then it was like that. I don't know what it meant. I just remembered that I was supposed to do something with my hand. The détente. Yeah. And all it takes is another action like this for that all to collapse into another world war. To quote Captain Blackadder, to paraphrase really Captain Blackadder, it will become more difficult to to not have a war than to have a war.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know, and that's what led up to World War One. That's what's going to lead up to World War Three.
Yep.
And I do see this very much as being a step in that direction. I don't necessarily.
What'd you think was strange, Maddie?
I always thought I was strange. The Christmas Carol Blackadder would have been a father for World War One Blackadder.
Yeah.
That does explain why World War One Blackadder wasn't as cruel as some of the other Blackadders. He wasn't like the nicest but he was the nicest Blackadder other than the first part of the Christmas Carol Blackadder. Oh God. I just pictured Baldric in his posing pouch. Oh, that hurt.
Okay, I think at this point we have caused not just
The other thing.
mental anguish, but we are now causing emotional anguish. We should pick a different subject, dear.
Oh, Robbie Coltrane was great in the Christmas Carol one. The Blackadder family each shifted down socially in England over the centuries, with each iteration being below the previous one. And that is true too. I thought... Oh, no, wait. That was Elizabethan Blackadder. His dad blew the family fortune on women, wine, and amateur dramatics. Oh, wow. I've just... Would he have been the father, or would he have been the grandfather? Okay,
World
because you're
War
going
One would have
through...
been in the 20s, so 18, so before 8. Yeah, probably could have been the father.
Okay, so the Christmas Carol one was set... he was about 35 to 40 in World War One. Yeah. Okay. And the Christmas Carol one was set in
1843.
1843.
Let me see. Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have been the father.
There could easily have been... There could have been easily 1 or 2 generations between then.
If the one in World War One was 40, then he would have been born in the like 1870s, 1880s. So yeah, could easily have been the father because no telling how old Scrooge would have been to have kids.
Yeah.
Because they did not care about ages.
I mean, the other thing, though, is not all of the Blackadders were directly descended from each other. I think. I think there were some that were like nephew, you know. But I don't know. I never went down that rabbit hole. I always just kind of just barely circled the edge of that rabbit hole, because to go down that rabbit hole would have been crazy. Also, we know that 2 of the Blackadder lines ended, as far as we know, childless. We know that at the end of the end of the first one and the end of the second one, he's dead. It ends with him dead. Not the end of the third one, but he does end up dead in the end of the fifth one. Non-married children. Okay. I could see that with the Elizabethan one, with number 2. Kind of see that with the first one. But yeah, okay. I mean, I guess it makes sense that they were a bunch of bastards in general. I'm using the correct terminology.
I know you are. That's why I'm laughing.
That's something I get joy out of, is referring to myself as a bastard, because I was 5 or so when my parents got married. It actually works funnier if they're all bastards. Yeah. Yeah, it really does. It really does. Wow. Well, all right. I think we have reached our limit for the day. I just realized that we're about to spend even longer down this black hole of... So then, Venezuela. I feel like I've said as much on the subject as I can. Like, that is... Oh! The Swiss bar fire. That's going to be on the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Swiss bar fire, that was... I should not sound so excited by this.
No, you should not.
That is
but
so sad. It really is sad.
You're excited because you remembered it.
And because it was not an act of violence.
No.
It was a horrible tragedy. That it was negligence. It was stupidity. But it wasn't violence. And for that reason, it's like, oh, thank goodness something awful happened that wasn't, that wasn't one person hating another person.
this is sad that this happened, this is tragic, this is all these things, but it was not, there were no actual interpersonal human motives that were directed at another
Right.
human.
I could see them doing it on the speed round, on the lightning round, and what they'll do is talk about what set the fire, which was sparklers in wine bottles, in champagne bottles.
Yep.
You know, yeah. Okay, so
Yeah, that is exactly.
this bar. Don't laugh about this, Trevor. This is a tragedy. It's ridiculous, is what it is. This bar has traditions like the waitresses come out wearing helmets with sparkling candles on top of them, or carrying around champagne bottles with sparklers in them. And it caught the ceiling on fire.
Yep.
I don't know if they were half full. I don't know if they were empty and just recorked and had the sparkler in the top. I don't know. I just know that they have not just your regular form of fire in these bottles being held up aloft near the ceiling. I'd be terrified about the alcohol kicking off.
With the champagne, it's more water.
Yeah. You need something that is 100 proof or better to catch fire easily. Yeah. It's way more than just an accident. It is negligence. It is extreme negligence. It's negligent. Yeah. Somebody's gonna catch a negligent manslaughter charge, I think. It is extreme negligence. Yeah. Alcohol. I do have alcohol that will catch fire in here. I use 100 proof vodka to make my tinctures. So it will catch fire if I apply flame to it. However, anything under 100 proof, the further below 100 proof, the longer it needs to have fire applied to it, or, bring up to heat for enough of the alcohol to evaporate into the air to catch fire. I'm looking to see if I have something that I can put some tincture on and catch it on fire. But no, nothing I feel comfortable doing that with. Alcohol, like, you're generally not gonna catch almost anything behind the bar on fire without an accelerant. Not that I've had a shot of every kind of alcohol behind the bar and tried to set it on fire, but yeah, I've kind of done that. Station bar went up similarly. Yeah. Like I do sort of feel like fire inside of a bar is relatively a bad idea, just dumb in general. Like, I see why that just because you can't catch something that is less than 100 proof on fire on its own, it doesn't mean that if you have a bunch of open alcohol containers, the room won't fill up with alcohol gas.
Okay, so to answer this question, from the pictures that were taken, the bottles are still sealed and still have their foil over the corks.
That has an extra layer of stupidity to it.
Hang on, I'm working on putting the one picture that I have managed to find.
We don't
chat
want to
for
see a
you.
lot of these pictures because this is going to be eerie, upsetting, and disturbing. And while I would enjoy it, I don't want to subject
That's
my...
why I'm putting it in the voice chat, so you can see, not necessarily in the Twitch chat.
So they're putting the sparklers next to the uncorked bottles? I hope not. Where did you
And
put
there's
it?
a reason, the reason why they reached the ceiling is because you had people riding around on each other's shoulders holding them up.
Alright, let's see what happens.
But yeah, that might actually make tomorrow's show. So, bottles have still corked, still have their foil, and they've just stuck the sparkler down through the foil to hold it on, and
That's terrifying. I mean, I love fire. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, no, fire inside of... I guess there are so many cases of bars catching fire that having fire inside a bar is
the bar
just...
is a bad idea.
Yeah.
If looking at that picture alone, and the other one that I didn't post, if everybody had kept their feet on the floor, they probably would have been okay.
Safe. So when I was a kid, I volunteered at a local history museum, and one of the stations we had flint and metal, and we were all bored at times that anyone at the station would just be sparking away onto the crap, onto the carpet. Oh yeah,
yes, it
no,
was definitely on the adults.
that's totally on the adults. That's totally on the adults. Don't let the kids have flint and steel on the carpet. We were like way too young to fully comprehend that. Yeah. Yeah. Well, friends, I do feel like we've kind of come to the end here. Or at least tell us don't spark it. And tell you why, too. They need to tell you why. We were supposed to show visitors and spark it for the... on the carpet? But yeah, you really... See, okay, there's a lot of mixed messaging going on there for kids. Like, that's gonna be a real hard dichotomy for a child to hold in their brain. So is this how that place caught fire? Is that what I'm getting from this story? We were like 12, but still. Yeah, 12 is... Nah. Especially don't be giving 12-year-olds mixed messaging. Like, they must have thought that the carpet could take it. They must have thought, oh, the carpet won't burn. I guess giving kids flint and steel to make fire is better than giving kids a lighter. Giving 12-year-olds. There never was an incident. This is one of those we all knew not to use matches or use lighters. Apparently they were right. There never was an incident. Okay. See, I mean, I guess, yeah. Matches, lighter, they are different. They're more likely to catch a more sustained fire. This is where my reading habits have me laughing over word usage. The number of semi-historical romances that have used sparking as a euphemism.
Please don't spark on the carpet.
I'm not saying anything. Anything I say here, plead the fifth. Anything I say here is going to be wrong. And
You okay?
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I do feel like we have reached the point where if we keep going, it's just going to devolve into
Something?
yeah. It's just going to devolve.
I mean,
Any
that's
closing
assuming
thoughts?
we weren't. No,
No.
not really. The only other stuff I've got left is like really local, and that can wait for another day.
Okay.
But
Okay.
it's interesting local gossip about various buildings.
Okay. I'll leave it alone. We can do that. We can save that for next week when we will be
Okay.
fully back. When I will be back in costume, building gossip. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, Kat. What you got for us?
All right. You know how we had Home Depot built here recently?
Yes, at Old Fascist Scare. I mean Fashion Square stall. I mean mall.
Yes, they tore down half of that building to build Home Depot. Turns out that the subcontractor that they, or the general contractor that they use, subcontracted to several local people for electrical work and the like.
Okay.
And
Do
once
we
Home
have
Depot
names?
of the
Do-
general contractor,
Yes. And subcontractors. Who is the general
only some-
contractor? Who?
only some of the subcontractors who have been stiffed by the general contractor and have filed mechanics liens against the Home Depot building.
So, okay, the subcontractors have been stiffed by the general contractor?
Yep.
Oh. That's that. So who is the general contractor here? Who is
Give
the
me 1 minute to pull that up.
I don't know all of the general contractors in the area, but there are some
He's
that-
not local. The general contractor was not local. Yeah.
Oh. Okay,
Let
so
me see.
we
The
had, while you're looking this up, I'm going to explain Fashion Square Mall.
right.
We have in Charlottesville had two malls. We had this downtown bricked off bit of Main Street that is this very Commons style mall that was designed by the same guy who did the Ithaca Commons. What is it? Boston Commons, and a few more. Anywhere that has this sort of bricked off Main Street area where there's a street or couple of blocks. That's our downtown mall. But we also had a standard 1980s, let's go to the mall kind of mall.
Yes.
And it is called Fashion Square. I don't know how much of it is left. About half of it, maybe. Most of that is empty and dead. There are a couple of places left there, but it is pretty nothing. So they chopped off half the building and turned it into a Home Depot.
Right. So the general contractor is Robbins Construction of come back here. I was looking for the name of the other place. Robbins Construction out of South Carolina. So that was the general contractor.
Robbins Construction out of South Carolina. Considering that these guys have been stiffed, that they are the victims, maybe we don't have to. The subcontractors, I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Before we go naming the subcontractors, maybe we don't have to because they're not screwing up. They're not the ones screwing up.
No, they're not. The local subcontractors are not the ones screwing up. In fact, they were planning, I don't know if they did, but they had planned to hold a protest out in front of the Home Depot today with the goal of, among other things, getting the attention of the local news organizations so they can help apply pressure to contracting. From what I've been able to gather, Home Depot hired Robbins to build the building. Robbins went around and hired various people to do the jobs. At some point, they had one electrical company in, got mad at them for whatever reason, fired them, hired someone else who came in and actually did all the rest of the work.
Okay.
And is now refusing to pay the ones that they brought in second on the basis of the work not being done when the building has been open and functioning for several months now. And apparently there were multiple subcontractors that have filed mechanics liens, and they are going to court, but the problem is one of the people most out of pocket on this deal is about to go bankrupt because they've been waiting on almost $1 million worth of payment that this general contractor ran out, and Home Depot is not stepping in to wail on their employee.
Oh, whoa. Oh, gosh, if they go out of business but win, that's going to be...
Oh.
I mean, if they go out of business, then their part of this is going to drop.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Yep.
Okay, I do feel like maybe we can name these companies if they are named in the article and they don't seem to mind it. But
The local business that was brought in second, their name is Budget Electrical and Mechanical.
Budget Electrical and Mechanical?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, anybody local, send business their way if you can.
Oh.
You know, keep them afloat.
Hopefully.
Right? Dude. Rough.
So, yeah. That, and, if you happen to have, a number for Home Depot corporate and want to throw something their way of, hey, your subcontractors have not been paid, this is not okay.
Right. Dude.
But they are apparently going to court.
Well, good. It may not drop. If they go bankrupt, it may not drop because there may still be somebody to represent the company legally.
Oh yeah, there may be, but
and if they go bankrupt and it goes to court, that money will go to pay off
a lot.
In which case, they will probably be able to come back out of bankruptcy. It's not like going bankrupt will necessarily end the company's existence. It will damage the company, but it won't, and suck up a lot of money. But it won't necessarily destroy it.
For me, this reeks of what happened when they built the Kohl's up in Hollymead. Which, that one, this one with Home Depot, I'm just kind of reading up on it. That one, I effectively lived through that because my ex helped build that store.
Okay.
And he did a huge amount of the welding on that store. And they had a subcontractor out, or they had a general contractor out of Arizona that did similar. Paid people right up until the building was almost done, and then stopped responding to their messages. So they finished the work because they'd been paid, so there was no reason not to finish the work.
Well, it'd been paid up till now.
Exactly.
And it was only a little bit left.
But,
Man.
I know my ex was left with a very sizable outlay in materials and labor costs that had been, the remaining balance on the job. And he's got a mechanics lien on the Kohl's building for the same reason.
Dang. Huh.
Because the Kohl's said, oh, talk to the general contractor. They go talk to the general contractor. All it is a P.O. box in Arizona. We paid them left.
Okay, and this is... So the negligence here, I can see where this scam plays out, how this works. These general contractors are probably just a couple of people. And and their ability is to subcontract, and then, they subcontract out for less than they're getting paid to do the whole thing. B, they short everybody somehow. And pocket the back end, just barely the back end. And it's like not a lot from any one person, but it's enough from them to like leave them pretty screwed, because they're just they're just a PO box in another state, really. There's somebody who showed up in the right kind of car with the right kind of clothing and talked right, and then pretty much just effed off. basically could probably set up automatic transfers to cover everything.
Yeah.
It seems it actually, when you dissect how the scam could work, it seems pretty easy.
Oh, no, I agree. It is pretty easy.
I'm not saying that anybody out there should try to commit this scam, because this is an awful scam. It is really, really awful to rip off these small-time subcontractors. These guys really are living job to job. They are not banking a whole lot of extra money. There's a huge... These subcontracting companies, there's a huge outlay for labor and for materials,
Yeah.
Labor gets paid a pretty gosh darn good amount. And if you're good at running a subcontracting company, if you're good at it, you can have a pretty decent personal income. But it's not like your company is gonna be making a whole lot of money. Your company isn't gonna become really rich. It won't take but a bad season or two, a few jobs gone bad, a few underpayments or non-payments for your company to go under.
And if you've got one major job that you did and you've got everybody waiting on payment from that one huge job, that'll do it.
Yep.
So,
This is subcontracting is one of those things that does operate relatively close to the margins. Restaurants themselves operate pretty close to the margins. Even established restaurants, long-time established restaurants, it's only a couple of seasons. It's only a few bad seasons for them to have to shut down.
we just had P.F. Chang's close. The one that's been down on Barracks Road forever and ever.
Yeah, but P.F. Chang's wasn't real food.
It may not have been real food, but it was an actually established place.
P.F. Chang's. It was in one of the worst locations.
Yes.
That
Unless,
spot never lasts more than 5 years.
except for they've been.
Okay, orange juice chicken. Okay, they will continue to go to East Garden Chinese food buffet up on freaking Pantops, where it is actual orange chicken, not just orange juice chicken. They will get that's why I'm not surprised P.F. Chang's in Charlottesville closed. These people are
Except
freaking
for the fact that they have actually been there since 2007.
That's nothing in Charlottesville time.
No, but it is longer than 5 years.
It is longer than 5 years, but that is nothing in Charlottesville time.
It was definitely a place that all the college kids spotted and said, we know what that is, we're going to go eat there.
Yeah. I mean, okay, also, that's right next to Barracks Road Shopping Center, right?
Exactly.
And it's there were better spots at Barracks Road. P.F. Chang single-handedly keeping the frozen concentrated orange juice commodities market up and running. Okay, that wins. Oh God, that wins. I mean, okay. That location was also competing against a Bodo's. A nearby Bodo's that was, while difficult to get to, easier to get to than the PF Chang's. Bodo's, yes, the best bagels in the world. Bodo's bagels are the best bagels in the world. There are 3 locations.
One, 2. I know there's at least 2. I don't know if the third one's still there or not.
Which one are you thinking isn't still there?
Let's see. I know the one that's up there.
There's the corner.
Kitty corner to Best Buy is still there.
The one on Emmett.
Right.
That's the one. And then there's the
one near Rosehill Drive, Mona Lisa Pasta, all that. That one's still there.
Yep. And the one up on the corner still exists.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah. Where would the one on the corner go, dude? Like,
I haven't been through the corner to see if it's open recently.
Oh. Dude, they are never, ever gonna close. Once a Bodo's opens, it's open. Once Bodo's arrives, it is here. So once when I was out on a trip with my grandmother, we were driving by a completely new city. She saw a Village Inn highway sign. She wanted to go, so we got off, and there was a turn left for a miles sign at the off-ramp. So we went a mile and immediately found another sign that said Village Inn 5,000 feet ahead. And then there was another sign. Yeah. Yep. Okay. See, that's yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, Bodo's 5 sides. Bodo's always puts up a sign. Clear across town. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Bodo's puts up a sign. 5 years before arrival, up to 5 years before arrival, they have a sign up at the location saying, Bodo's coming soon. I wasn't even angry, I was impressed. Yeah. The first time they did this, the one on Emmett Street, where 250 bypass goes across Emmett Street.
Mm-hmm.
This Bodo's coming soon sign. I don't even know if they had the 2 concentric circles. They might have, they might not have, but it just said Bodo's coming soon. And it sat there for 3 years while they built the inside of the restaurant. But no one knew what Bodo's was. And everybody, I mean, there were all kinds of conjectures.
I mean, look at the location they picked.
Right? And if they did have the 2 concentric circles, what is that? That's too far apart to be a ring. It's not a jewelry store. That center circle's awful big for it to be a proctology place.
And we still had Donut Connection at that point, so no one would have thought that. We had Donut Connection on one side of town, and we had Krispy Kreme directly across the street from where their location was.
No, there was no Krispy Kreme in Charlottesville at the time. There was no Donut Connection. There was no Krispy Kreme. I don't even know if Dunkin' Donuts was in town yet.
How about Dunkin'? But I know that for years we had the Krispy Kreme across the street at what is now
Yeah, no, that didn't. That was that. No, that Bodo's was there. This was in the 70s.
Okay, never mind.
This was in the 70s, maybe 80s. This was before all of that. This is when Charlottesville stopped there. This was when
Yeah.
Bodo's was at the edge of town. This was before there was an Aunt Sarah's there and a motel that is
I miss
now
Aunt Sarah's.
a Best Buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was. So, again, no one, like, so there was no, Rising Sun Bakery still existed on the corner. Maybe not. This might have been pre-Rising Sun Bakery, but I don't think so. I think it was post-Rising Sun. So there was a local place to get a bagel. So people who looked at that went, yeah, but why would you get a bagel from, why would there be a bagel shop? There's Rising Sun on the corner.
Because this was closer to most of the other residential stuff in the area than the corner.
Well, it was also a better bagel.
There's that.
It's just a better bagel in general.
I am not going to disagree. They are good.
So, but they would, you know, people were just guessing what this was for years. For like 5 years, a half a decade. Bodo's coming soon. Talk about edging.
And we're back to, well, it can't be a
couldn't help
proctology office on the sign.
Right? I'd have finished by 5 years.
On that note,
So, there was, by the time it showed up, it was, I mean, it was a phenomenon. Turned out they were the best bagels in the world. And Bodo's is always busy. All 3 locations are always busy at lunch.
oh yeah,
I
and
have
breakfast.
friends who will who have traveled from New York to get a Bodo's bagel. I have friends in New York who have been thankful for a bag of day-old Bodo's bagels. I mean, like, that's high praise. And a day-old Bodo's bagel, by the way, is one of the best things ever. It is an amazing experience. I can't even explain it. A day-old plain Bodo's bagel ripped into small bits with ketchup out of a package dolloped on it. That is a delicacy. That was a delicacy when I was in high school. Where I went to high school, that was like, that was it. I came up with a sandwich that sounds so disgusting that no one wanted a bite, because that was the only way that I could, if I got Bodo's for lunch, that was the only way I could have my entire sandwich to myself.
Yeah.
The Trevor is pastrami or salami or both, depending on how I'm feeling.
Right.
Swiss cheese, heated, lettuce, tomato, mayo, avocado, mustard, on a toasted cinnamon raisin bagel.
I mean, it's got salty. It's got sweet.
It's
got
amazing.
the tangy. It makes sense to me.
It is actually an amazing sandwich. Oh, it is. You don't know how good. Like, this is. It's even good on non-Bodo's bagels. Not as good, but nothing's as good on a non-Bodo's bagel. But when people would ask me what I had, and I'd show it to them because it was hot and greasy and like, but on a cinnamon raisin, they would look at it and go, you know, never mind. So I'd get my entire Bodo's bagel to myself. The fact that it was meat and dairy, that really cut out most of the kids at my high school.
Yep.
The few that weren't vegetarian were kosher, so
Hey, it works.
right. There was one kid, there were a couple of kids who had as ironclad a stomach as I did, and took a bite and never got anything else ever again from Bodo's. They were like, oh, that is my... And they would just order my sandwich from Bodo's from then on. And it's like... right. That didn't work as well as I had planned. I mean, it works well, but now every time they see me with one, they ask for a bite.
I mean, there's that.
Yep.
The last time I had some bagels from there that I was not going to eat immediately, they ended up kind of chopped up and thrown into a baking dish and turned into French toast.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Speaking of French, great segue. I have seen a Bodo's Bagels t-shirt as far away as Paris, France. I was walking past the cemetery in Paris and saw Bodo's Bagels distinct. It was the red on black design from when I was in high school. Specifically, like a very specific set of years, very plain, the t-shirt just kind of walked past me on a very crowded street in Paris, France, and I'm sorry, I should do that gig this way. That bit this way. It just like walked past me and it was I was too stunned to be like, hey, excuse me, pardon. But like that, you know. So yeah, they are a cultural phenomenon, just a very underground cultural phenomenon. And if you can ever get to Charlottesville, it is worth having. It is worth coming to Charlottesville for Bodo's Bagels and then leaving immediately. Well, no, go to the Hidden Leaf afterwards. Sorry. I'm sorry, I almost missed that opportunity to advertise for our advertisers. You know, if you do go to Bodo's Bagels, go to the Hidden Leaf afterwards. It's very nearby. It's on the downtown mall, 105 West Main Street, Suite 200 above the bricks. Great place to go. It's great buds to get some great buds, eh, bud? You know, Bodo's is... Yeah. So, okay, so where this was going, why I mentioned the Bodo's coming soon thing is there was at one point in the late 90s, it was the late 90s, every year, the local performing arts center, Live Arts, put on a series of one-act plays that went around and were performed at a bunch of the bars on the downtown mall, including Miller's, where I worked at the time. Although this might have been before, this one might have been before I worked there. This one might have been while I was still in high school. Miller's was my first job out of high school. I went straight from high school to working at a downtown dive bar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was less than a month between, I think. Really defined the rest of my life. One of the plays, I knew the reference beforehand, but I have never seen Waiting for Godot.
Mm.
But I've seen Waiting for Godot. It was a one-act play based, essentially a rewritten version of Waiting for Godot, about waiting for the donut, or for the bagel shop.
Uh-huh.
And at the very end, they both whip out a Bono's bagel and take a bite and walk off stage.
Mm.
This would have been in the time when Spud Nuts still existed on this coast.
Mm-hmm.
There was a glorious period of time, couple of decades, few decades actually, where Charlottesville was home to the best bagels in the world and the best donuts in the world. I forgot about Spud Nuts for a moment. Oh my God, Spud Nuts are, because they still exist. It's not like Spud Nuts doesn't exist. On the West Coast. They're a West Coast chain. They are a chain restaurant. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There were two, for the longest time, there were two on this coast. One here and one in Maryland, I think. And I think the one in Maryland closed a decade or two before the one here. Spud Nuts are the best donuts in the world. They are made with... There's a reason they have such a strange name. They're made with potato flour. They're potato donuts. They're Spud Nuts, not just dough nuts. But Spud... Spud Nuts sound like a different way of saying dictator.
I know.
But they were, oh man, they were the best. And that's why, for the longest time, any other donut place had a hard time in town. The only reason the Dunkin' Donuts worked at all was because they were open really late. Whereas Spud Nuts closed like 2 in the afternoon. Spud Nuts was open till like midnight or 2. They aimed for that. They might have been even open till 3. They aimed for that post-bar crowd. So, but they weren't... The donuts at Dunkin' Donuts weren't quite as good as a Spud Nut. thing is, okay, the other thing Duncan had over Spud Nuts is Duncan had like filled, or not over Spud Nuts, was Duncan had filled donuts. If you wanted a filled donut, you had to go to Duncan.
Yeah.
I don't remember Spud Nuts having filled donuts. I do remember them. Their apple fritters were amazing. But yes, there was a glorious period of time where Charlottesville was home to the best bagels and the best donuts in the world. I mean, at least they still have the best bagels in the world. You know? There's something about Charlottesville water that works with, that works similar to New York water. Especially for pizza dough and bagel dough. But I think it also helps that they fold into their bagel dough, they fold a tiny bit of every employee's soul. There's just a tiny bit of every employee's true internal essence in every bite of their bagel. I mean, it's either that or they are putting illicit substances in their bagels. And both of those statements are equally as implausible and equally untrue.
So,
All right.
if it's the first one, would that make Bodo's some sort of patron for stealing the souls of their little warlock employees?
Have you ever looked into the eyes of one of the people behind the counter as you've ordered a bagel and look deep into their eyes at one of those Bodo's employees?
Not in a long while, and when I did, I just blamed it on the company that I was with.
You blamed that look of their diminishing soul that's deep in their eyes on your company.
Yeah. You know
Wow.
who.
No.
I was there with the non-friend of us both.
Okay. We'll have to work that out later. Friend of us both.
Non-friend now.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, you were with
While his dog was out in the car, yes.
Oh, wait, which one?
The one that has the same first letter as me.
Oh, okay. Thumper.
Yeah, so I just blamed the look that I saw on him.
Oh. The dead inside look of the employee at Bodo's on the person you were, not the company you were working with as opposed to the company they were working with, but the person you were there with.
Yes.
The soul-sucking...
Yes.
I have a whole bunch of bad names for him.
I do understand.
His brother, though, is worse.
Which one? There's two of them.
Yes. Which one?
Yeah.
Yes. Both
Exactly.
of them. But no, specifically, and they're, you know what? Not worse. They're none of them are worse. They're all equally bad. All three of them. I don't care if his last name isn't the same as the other two. He is the same as the other two.
Yes,
He's
he
a
is.
little smarter, which makes him a little worse, actually, I think. The bad thing about his brother his brother whose name is the same as the first name of our
Yes.
that guy tried to say something that isn't vulgar about him.
I have been given to understand that he can't speak to a female of any size, any type, without saying something vulgar. So I'm okay.
Yes, but I will never sink to his level.
No, I'm not saying
am-
that you should.
No, and see, that's the thing, is like, he so many times wanted us to be so similar. He was like, we're the same, you know, we're the same kind of person, you know, it's not like we're different, and the things you hate in me, you see in you, and it's like,
yeah, no, that's not how that works.
That may have been true once, but no, now I don't do those things, and I still hate you. And when I look back, I never did what I did with any, like, I was dumb. I did it because I was not thinking. I did those sort of, I slept around because I was a slut. I didn't say it out loud to people because I wasn't proud of it, but also I just didn't think. I felt, I didn't think. He did it with the purpose of getting, in his own words, revenge.
Yeah.
He did things with a purpose. He did that as a weapon tactic. He broke people up because he didn't think they belonged together. He hurt people's feelings both out of malice, but also out of some feeling of justification. Because of some moral justification, he felt good about breaking people up. And then he has the gall to play it off like he's dumb. Pretend that he's just some dumb, lovable idiot who thinks with his regions. And
who does not think with his actual head.
No. Which doesn't square with the things he said now. When he did it to me, when he slept with my girlfriend, it was to call me out for my behavior as being a slut. And it broke us up, and it broke her heart, and it broke my heart too. And it really, my behavior was awful. I'll own that. That was not a period of time in my life where I liked who I was. And it would have just been so much easier if I had decided to just own up to being a hoe. If I didn't feel like I needed some sort of like, no, I have some sort of moral superiority because I'm only quietly a hoe. Nah, if you're gonna be a hoe out loud. If you gonna be a slut out loud. Don't hide it. Don't be ashamed of it. Just do it. Like, if that's who you are, be it. Don't hurt people's feelings. You know? Hiding that fact about myself hurt a lot of people's feelings. And I feel awful about that. You know. But he used sleeping with my girlfriend as a way to call me out on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, while he was with her, he slept with someone else's girlfriend to prove that she was a lying hoe like me. I did not sleep with her. I never slept with her. With that other...
Right.
And when confronted, she lied about who she slept with and how consensual it was. Which led to a situation where a 300-pound man who was not quite as tall as me, but twice as wide as... it's wider than my doorway, kicked in my front door during a D&D game and grabbed Thumper by the hair.
Mm-hmm.
And drug Thumper over the D&D table and out my front door. And would have beat him in Minecraft.
Yes.
I mean, he would have Minecrafted him all over my front stairs.
He would have used him to go find some gems down several levels.
It was about... And my roommate at the time, this large man's best friend, who was... the only reason he was more than 100 pounds is because his hair was so long that to sit down on the toilet, he had to put it over his shoulder and wrap it around his arm.
Aw.
That is like he was nothing squared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was nothing to this guy. He was a good head taller than me, at least. But he was not, I mean, just he was skinny with long hair. There was nothing to him. But he stood in between Thumper and the big guy and put his hand on the big guy's chest and was like, no, not in my house. Not here. This will not happen. We don't know what happened. You will not Minecraft this guy on my front stairs.
That is something that can happen later on your own stairs.
I believe the terms he used were no unsanctioned violence in my house. It's like, all right, I get that.
I mean, you've heard me say, no blood on the carpets, take it out and play in the street like normal people.
Yeah, this would have been a little more than just playing in the streets.
Oh, I know.
And it would have been based on a lie. And the thing is, here's one of the things to put in context. This is a very rare circumstance that it's a very rare circumstance that a woman calls false rape.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I not entirely sure that I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. I'm not going to say it was entirely consensual. I have no idea. I know that this does not absolve the person who nearly got Minecrafted.
Nope.
Because he is a bad person on his own right, but not at the time. He didn't do the thing. The person who did the thing got away with it. Happened right after. By the way, happened like the same night, or no, the night after my girlfriend marched into the theater where I was working, threw my notebook at me, and slapped me in the face and stormed out. It's like, he went from that to creating this other situation in like a weekend. I'm like, dude.
I mean, 18 hours is enough for him to get in trouble, yes. Not even a full 24. 18 hours is enough for him to get in trouble.
Yeah, it was about 18 hours. And I spent years where I told him, if you speak to me more than 3 times, I will just start hitting you and not stop. Because I owe you that.
Mm-hmm.
And he had talked to me twice.
Mm-hmm.
And after that second time, he tried to speak. He was about to speak to me a third time. Like, after that second time, I almost went off on him. And he tried to speak to me a third time, and my friends held him back, held me back, took me away, and were like, look, just don't. He will. And at the time, I was 150 pounds. 150 pounds. I currently weigh in at 170, 175 maybe. And I'm skinny for myself. I was so skinny at the time that if I sucked in my stomach, you saw my spine.
Mm-hmm.
I would have broken every bone in my body all over him. Mm-hmm. I would not have hurt him one bit.
Oh, yes, you would have.
Not even a little. I would have shattered I would have punched him in the face. The shockwave would have gone into that, that Mortal Kombat, zoom in, and you would have seen the bones in my fist start breaking, and then my wrist, arm, all the way up to my shoulder. I was so calcium deficient and so deficient in everything. My bones were really starting to deplete at that point.
You were a scurvy candidate. Okay.
No. Vitamin C was one of the few things I got a lot of. I would eat candy while I was candy flipping.
Well,
So-
that and the Mountain Dew.
No. No, I wasn't drinking the Mountain Dew at that point.
Okay.
I don't remember what I was drinking at that point. If I was drinking much of anything. I was drinking liquor. Beer, maybe.
Mm,
Wine. I was drinking wine.
that also probably
I
had
was
vitamin
still
C
drinking
too.
wine. Yeah. I was a little goth braver kid at the time, so yeah, no, there was no. He would not have. I mean, maybe one of the bone shards would have come flying out of my body and stabbed him somewhere important. But it's not like I had no ability to actually cause harm. I was just really, really angry and willing to, and I was angry at him.
Yeah.
I mean, by the end of the decade or two that had gone on, there had been a point at which I stopped, like, losing bone mass and started putting on weight and mass again, and, you know. But early on in that, there was no way I was going to hurt him. At least not on purpose.
Fair. This is why you really should invest in a decent pair of steel-toed boots.
Oh, that was a way I could have hurt him, because I wore these really, really loose. Sometimes at the time, I wore these really loose steel-toed boots that I would wear completely untied, and I would do this, like, jump kick maneuver, like, from far away that would just launch my boots at someone.
Okay, so yes.
There was that. I was wearing cowboy boots at the time. If I'd have gotten him with one of the heels of the cowboy boots, that could have been irritating.
Yeah, no, he's got kind of high arches. You could have done damage if you'd have stomped right.
Yeah. And I did have a tendency to aim low at the time.
What you needed was someone at the time to teach you how to fight like a girl properly.
Yeah.
Because that would have hurt him.
Yeah.
Or at least you needed my dad to teach you how to fight, because he believed if you should not be fighting, but if you're going to fight, you fight as dirty as you can and win, because the goal is, if you're in that situation, you are going to be the one walking away, not the other person.
I mean, that would have been my goal, and if I had the bone mass to confidence ratio of a normal human being, I would have been able to do that.
This is where the dirty part comes in.
No, I didn't want to break my knee on his groin.
No, because you don't use your knee, you use your toe.
Even worse, I don't want to smash my entire foot. Like, I don't want to break my foot in his butt. Break my foot off in your butt? Oh, yeah.
Steel-toed boots.
No, I'd already launched them by that point.
Just, you do
They're
not throw your
weapons.
You don't throw your only weapon at the enemy. You do not throw the only weapon at the enemy that gives them the weapon again. You don't do that.
No, I didn't. The key is I didn't realize. At the time, I really didn't realize that I was not dangerous. I
Fair.
thought
That is fair enough.
I really had way more confidence than bone mass.
God, that sounds like the day my sister tried to take me down, and it was hilarious. She's like 15, and I'm 9 years older than she is. And she got up and she was gonna fight me like a little old banny rooster. And I knocked her down, so she fell on her stomach, and then I just sat on her. I just sat right in the middle of her back. And she would start yelling, and that would use up her air, and I'd get heavier and heavier every time she'd yell. Until finally she had to stop fighting so that she could swear that she wasn't going to do anything else, so I would get up and let her breathe normally. I was like, okay, are we done? Or do I need to knock you down and sit on you again? Because we can keep doing this. I don't have to hurt you. I can just sit here all day.
Yeah, but okay, see, when I was young, I had the advantage of being large, right? Most of my life I had that sort of advantage. And most of my life I have, in retrospect. Like, even now, I have, I'm, my waist isn't at its thinnest, but it's close. Like, I'm smaller than I was in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
It's a large fella in middle school. I was, now I was, a little bit shorter than I am now. And, but even with the size, even with being as small as I am, I'm densely packed muscle. Mm-hmm. I do have a bit of, spare tire. Flotation device. I've got a flotation device. I've got a flotation device and flirtation devices. So I was waiting for you to be able to see that on Twitch. So yeah,
That was special.
Thank you. But I'm still really small for the size that I've been. But I'm also nowhere near my smallest. But the smallest I've been wasn't that large a period in my life. It transformed my metabolism and changed a lot of how my body worked internally. So that I'm a lot healthier than I could have been. As long as I maintain certain things and I'm careful about certain things, I stay relatively healthy. But it being that it was such a short period of time, I went from being very large to being very small in a very short period of time as well. So for a large part of me being small, even though I got small so quick that my body had started digesting my bone mass because I was on a rock star diet.
Right.
Actually, and it wasn't yayo. Oddly enough, it wasn't yayo. Not only was I on something else, but I was also eating a lot of ephedrine at the time and a lot of guaifenesin because
Yeah.
guafenicin and ephedrine came together in those little trucker speed pills. Well, guess what that was doing? Other than making me lose a lot of weight very quickly and keeping me up and dancing heavily. It was treating my cystic fibrosis.
Makes sense.
At the point at which my lungs were supposed to be rapidly deteriorating from getting a whole lot of infections and crap caught in them, I was abusing the drugs that would have been saving my lungs. So instead of the drowning process starting in my 20s, in my early 20s, it's been put off. You know, and I have spent most of the last years on guafenicin. Even after I stopped taking it for recreational purposes, I started taking it for lung purposes. However, when I was getting off of everything recently after my crash out, that y'all can go watch on YouTube, because there is some very deep honesty in that moment. But I also then didn't feel the need to be on a lot of drugs anymore. It's kind of weird. Unburdened my soul. All of a sudden, don't need the drugs. Still need some of the medication.
It's odd how that works.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? So, but the guafenicin was, I don't know if it was altering my brain chemistry that much. You know, that crash out, there was a large part of that crash out was because my delusions were collapsing. My delusions had grown so large that I couldn't maintain them, and they collapsed, and I had to deal with the things that were actually bothering me, like actually being a problem. And that's why that happened. And it turns out you can get physically addicted to guafenicin. And I was physically addicted to guafenicin. I am.
I imagine.
So I'm not eager to get back on the guafenicin, and if the drowning process started now, that's what it is. However, cannabis is a bronchial aid and an expectorant and a desiccant.
That's something that might be on tomorrow's show.
So it does continue to help treat the cystic fibrosis. And I doubt I'm ever going to stop taking my most basic psych med.
Caffeine?
No, I may someday get off of caffeine. I do not mind decaffeinated coffee. There may be a period in my life where I'm like, okay, you know what? I give up. I no longer have to be super active ever again. F you all. I'm going to sit here.
I'm now potato.
I'll switch over to decaf coffee. there may be a time in my life where, I love coffee, but I only use caffeine. Let us be clear. Like, caffeine is not it's necessary. It is a necessary supplement. But it is not. It does not bear the same love that coffee does.
Yeah.
I love weed.
Mm-hmm.
THC is cool, but I love weed.
Mm.
Like, there's a difference. I'm not gonna. There's something about smoking a bowl or a joint and enjoying a cup of coffee. Now, if I'm not getting high from the joint, that feels a little wasteful, but it's still healthier than smoking a cigarette and drinking a cup of coffee, which I do also love. All right. We've managed to ramble. I tried to wrap this show up once.
You've tried to wrap it up twice now, and it didn't work.
We've been going for 3 hours.
So much for a short show, because we only had four news stories to go over.
Cheese and crackers.
It is what it is. But I did think of something to add to the list for tomorrow.
What's that? What's up? What's going on the list tomorrow? The demotion of marijuana to a Schedule 3?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was playing with my dangling chads.
Yes. All right, wrap it up before we stumble onto a different rabbit hole.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. Cheese and crackers, I'm sorry it went so far. Thank you very much, Maddie Holmes. Thank you, Chris into 386. I know I saw you in there. Thank you. Cupcake is sweet. Is that everyone?
I believe that is everybody today.
That was everybody. Thank you, all of you lurkers. Much love to everybody. Stick around for the raid. Thank you, Kat, very much. Appreciate you being here. Thank you, everybody, for starting a little late with us today because of the, stuff. Lost track of what I was saying there. All right. Stick around for the raid. Thank you very much. Now is the time on the what?
I said we both need to go do something else.
Okay. Now is the time on the show when I say, as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. We're out, y'all.